Hi Sagittarius, welcome to a love reading for March 2019 if you are single, because I'm going to do these again separately. I'm going to do a singles reading and I'm going to do a couples reading later. I don't like the word couples because sometimes it's like an ex situation involved. I'm using the Morgan Greer deck for this singles reading, and here we go. I created my own spread to deal with, this particular topic, and I think if I'm not, I usually don't remember like the readings I do so many of them, but I remember just doing a life path reading for you, and I think I got the star, didn't I? So that's wonderful. So again, Aquarius, and we are in the sign of Aquarius, of course. So the first card in the center is always like kind of the current state of affairs, your attitude towards love, as you go and try to meet somebody, maybe somebody you're talking to. The Six of Pentacles, I'm thinking Virgo. Of all the earth signs, the other earth signs are Taurus and Capricorn, but just pay attention to those scales because this is very important, and the money, and the money. Actually, the Six of Pentacles, in general, if I was doing like a general reading, it would be, oh, you're helping somebody financially, or you're being helped financially, or there's some kind of like, if it was a work situation, that you're receiving what you deserve. So if we just look at that issue of getting what you deserve, that is the central theme. Again, it may be because of past experiences. One thing, it's funny because I have done readings, just for everybody, and I'll mention, even when I try to do singles readings, I'll mention people from the past. And somebody say, oh, well, why are you bringing up people from, there's nobody in my life. But you know what? Unless you're 20 years old and you've never had a serious relationship, most people have had, a string of relationships. And some of them may impact them in the future. Just because you break up with someone doesn't mean, oh, out of sight, out of mind, you're not even affected by whatever happened in that relationship and during the breakup. So this is like an important point to get across here, is that you are the sum of all your relationships, romantic relationships. So those things can leave an impact. And if we look at the past position, we have the Page of Cups. I got this for another sign. I think it was Pisces, and this actually connects to Pisces. And that Piscean vibe of naivete, of being too trusting sometimes. And I think being trusting is very important. People that are too wary, suspicious, they tend to, I'm talking about Scorpios, and if you're a Sag with the moon in Scorpio or Venus in Scorpio, you may have some of these, or Mars in Scorpio, you might have some of these issues as well. But the other extreme is being too trusting and believing what people say all the time, even when it doesn't add up, maybe kind of looking the other way, seeing only what you want to see. When I look at, when I do personal love readings and I look at the chart, I'm looking for certain things, and sometimes I'll see an afflicted Neptune. So somebody will have Venus square Neptune, or Venus opposing Neptune, or the moon square Neptune, or even a conjunction with Venus to Neptune, a moon to Neptune, or Venus and Pisces. For you can't have Venus and Pisces, but if you have the moon in Pisces, these can lead to situations where the person is a bit deluded. I don't like to use the word deluded because it sounds terrible or something, but really that they don't perceive things in a realistic way, that they kind of distort their reality. They take in information in a way that is not realistic. And in some cases, this goes back to childhood, you know, where reality was harsh. And so the mind can create an alternative narrative to make things more palatable. And it's understandable, but the problem is it leads to being attracted to the wrong people in adulthood, and then on top of that, putting a positive spin on something that is really not a good situation. So really what you're kind of, you might be going in the right direction, where you're saying, this time around, I want there to be give and take. I don't want to be the one that's always giving. I want the other person to, you know, also take care of me. You know, I deserve to be given. I deserve to be given as much attention and caring that I tend to give to my relationships. Well, cross is used represented by the tower, so that impending calamity. And going back to what I was saying, talking about the past, if you grew up in a household where you're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. I was just online talking to some astrologers, or, you know, people who do that for like a hobby even. And somebody was talking about alcoholism, and I know I've read extensively about adult children of alcoholics and things like that. And one of the things is that it's always that kind of feeling in a household like that, because, you know, sometimes the parent might go on a binge, or, you know, or if there's mental illness and they're okay, and then they suddenly go into some episode, and or just a rageaholic. You're always walking on eggshells. And you take these attitudes into adulthood, and you're fearful, you know, or maybe you've had relationships that were very tumultuous, or maybe just a past relationship. This is something that you have to heal within yourself, because you might be expecting the worst. And that's not a good way to approach relationships. And so the Tower card is being afraid of calamity. But, you know, it could be a self-fulfilling prophecy if you're too negative, if you're like looking for expecting the worst. You know, you might very well find it. And the advice is represented by the Queen of Cups, and this is being in tune with your intuition. When you're in tune with your intuition, you don't have to worry that something, like if you fall in love with somebody and you put your trust in them, that all of a sudden they're going to come and just turn your world upside down and tell you that they've been cheating, or you're going to walk in on them, because you're going to be in tune with something that is more subtle, and more about you're going to be more in tune with that person at a deeper level. I think a lot of times when people say, I didn't see it coming when they left, I think that's BS, to be honest with you. I think that they didn't see the signs. I think that's more likely. I'm not going to say 100% of the time, but I think more times than not, because of that, what the, excuse me, the Page of Cups represents, that tendency to put on those rose-colored glasses, a person, you know, does not put two and two together. They are kind of like allowing themselves to, they're lying to themselves in a relationship. And then they clutch their pearls and they say, oh my God, I can't believe it. I never saw it coming. And it's like, you never wanted to see it coming. But it was there all along. And so Sag is a very intuitive sign in its own way. And so the Queen of Cups, it's a feminine energy, very feminine energy, Queen Cups. And this could be somebody who maybe you haven't considered as a love partner, that this person is really a good match for you. Sometimes people, unfortunately, they disregard those around them who may even be making romantic overtures, but you might be used to more like the Tower card type of relationships. You may be used to the people that are more chaotic and unsettled, and this person may be a very gentle soul, and they tend to be you know, less flashy, but they might have more substance when you come down to it, and they may be more caring of you, whereas the other type of people may be more self-centered. So it's coming in as represented by the Ten of Wands. This is a card of a lot of work, so it might be that you have a lot of work to do on yourself. I don't know, but it could be that if there is somebody coming in, maybe it is a fellow fire sign. Talking about this card as a potential lover, I actually think that for Sagittarians, fire is more compatible overall. Now that's just going by sun signs, and you can't do that because it's not going to necessarily work out all, you know, in all cases. But definitely I could see a Sagittarius really, you know, feeling that sense of connection with a fire sign. And so in that case, the Queen of Cups is being in touch with yourself at a deep level so that you're at the right place at the right time. And because love is one of those things you can't control. I always say this, that when I started doing these readings, I thought that more people would order, you know, I'm talking about private readings, that they would be interested in career readings, money readings, things like that, that dealt with their finances, their career objectives. And that's not the case. I have ended up getting many more love readings overall. And I think, you know, upon reflecting on this, that it is because love is something that is more elusive. You cannot really control where it's going to show up for you. You can, you know, sign up for a dating service, an online dating service, but you can't guarantee that that's where you're going to meet the love of your life. The outcome is the Star card. And if you haven't watched my life path reading for February and March, check that out. It's on my channel. But I did get this card. And this is a card of your dreams coming true, perhaps. Following your dreams. Following, you know, this is a card of Aquarius. As I record this, we are in Aquarius. The new moon in Aquarius just occurred. And it could be a timing card of when this comes in. If you're watching in March, because this is for March, but many people will be watching this in February. So it might give you a time when this happens. But if it is in March, that might be somebody that you have met in February. And you're starting this, romantic encounter. And by the way, this person might be a fire sign, and Aries and Leo are the other fire signs besides Sag, and this person may cause healing in you because you feel the sense of you've met somebody who you can really have that type of relationship with. Also, looking at it astrologically, as I record this with the sun in the 3rd house, and you just had a new moon in the 3rd house, this is the house that could be associated with the internet. And so I just said something about online romance. So maybe some of you are getting involved with something along those lines to try to meet somebody new, because I know it isn't necessarily that easy these days to meet people in an organic way where you're just like walking around and you just meet somebody on the street. You know, there are a lot of people who seem to be, even if they're single, they find it hard to socialize in the conventional way these days because people tend to be more isolated. They tend to, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't think technology is the only thing to blame. I don't know exactly why things have changed and how people met in the past. Maybe through family, maybe because families are more scattered these days as well. But anyway, the Star card is a card of healing and hope restored in your life. So I do hope that for those of you who are single, Sag, that you have this occur for you, and that it's a wonderful romantic time. If you'd like a personal reading, the link is below. Take care, Sag. Bye.